Well, good morning, everyone. Yeah, I know it was quite shocking. I thought someone was taking an extended shower in the room above my hotel room this morning. And I opened the drapes, I saw the water. Now, of course, I had mixed emotions because there is a water shortage here in California. And the walkover wasn't too bad. I actually had an umbrella with me. But, you know, it just really goes to show that you really have to be ready for any types of changes, whether it's with the digital utility or with the weather outside. So one of the things that we've done is we've put together over the last couple of months a white paper, and some of you, I've been able to hand this out. We have it posted now on our JAM site, but it really is our thoughts around the digital utility, and I mentioned on Sunday the digital energy network. And so what I thought I would do to help set up Steve Lucas and what he's going to talk about is discuss a little bit about what we've already been hearing. The population growth around the world, and I have a global responsibility to help SAP direct our solutions from a utility perspective to address these growing trends. We heard about the middle class growing. What does that mean? All the technology, all the data, the need for water, electricity, natural gas, waste services, projected to grow to 3.8 billion by 2025. Think about all of the information, data, consumption of energy that's going to be needed. And then urbanization reaching 66%, where now we have even more energy demand, even more new business model requirements. So all of these together, the utilities should be excited. But as we heard from speakers yesterday, like Brian Rich of Consumers Energy, really now is the time to look at how utilities are going to be dealing with the future in these changing business models. So demand for clean and affordable energy is growing rapidly. By 2050, it's estimated that renewable and hydro will comprise about 50% of the supply. I talked Sunday about these 4 disruptors: decarbonization, not just in the US, but around the world; re-regulation; decentralization, we're seeing microgrids pop up; and then digitization, with the consumer being empowered like never before. So where does this leave us? So conventional utilities, and you heard Brian talk about abandoning big multi-billion-dollar investments in power plants. We were meeting, Peter and I, with the CFO of Vattenfall Energy in Sweden a few months ago. And she was telling us that they just finished a brand new fossil plant in Germany. The paint still smells new. It will never go live. They're going to decommission that plant, and it will never start up. These are the types of changes that are really hitting the utility industry hard. So proven business models are really disruptive. Large-scale long-term generation is put on hold, and we've got new entrants, lower market entry barriers. Tesla, Google, others are getting into the utility space. Prosumers. We heard this morning from Gartner about how disruptive the prosumer is. Collecting solar energy on the rooftops, storing it in batteries, being able to charge electric vehicles, use the electricity at night. We have a lot of different players that are coming into this market that are really disruptive. And then independent communities. Entire communities putting renewable energy into the mix, off the grid in some cases, is what the desire is. So this is our digital energy network view, where it's here today. Everything is connected. You're seeing disruption happen. And so how can the utility from the boardroom look at what to do facing all of these challenges? So it's going to mean that we're going to have new structures around power generation, transmission, distribution, and retail. New business models, new business processes, creating a competitive and collaborative digital economy framework. So digital value creation is all about reimagining your business. And that's really what we've been doing, putting together the white paper, our view of how utilities need to operate in this new digital world, and how we've been investing in our solutions. So it's leading utilities to reevaluate their assets, the customer relationships, not as ratepayers, but as empowered customers, reimagining fresh approaches to business models, processes, and the work. The new workforce of the utility is going to be much different 5, 10 years from now than it is today. So the 3 questions: how do we make money? How are we profitable in this highly volatile business and technical environment? How do we operate in a world where business, people, and things are connected real time? And how do we allocate people and work to ensure efficiency and compliance? So really the utilities need to define their business models to look at increased value from smart alignment around energy generation excellence. Utilities do things on a large scale. So as Brian talked about from Consumers Energy, look at putting that knowledge into addressing large-scale renewable and solar farms, smart and efficient distribution, demand-supply balancing services, and omni-channel retail to digitize prosumers. So some examples that are both utility and non-utility. So we have to start looking outside just our industry. So John Deere on the right, you may or may not know, engaged with us around a predictive service maintenance platform. We've leveraged that to look at how we can bring that into utilities. Under Armour is able to put sensors on their clothing, be able to manage the data coming in from athletes and look at better performance. And CenterPoint Energy, we did a collaborative proof of concept, taking the predictive maintenance and service platform and looking at how to predict failure in underground residential cable. So as Jen Morgan talked about yesterday, we have invested $50 billion, 30 of that is in acquisitions. And so we're taking this strategy around the 5 pillars: the customer excellence, the supplier collaboration, workforce engagement, and the machine-to-machine data around our digital core. So what all of this means is that we need to look at the opportunities within the digital energy network today. And so what we're doing is we're providing the foundation for this digital business framework for the utility industry. So now what I'd like to do is introduce Steve Lucas. Steve is the president of our database technology, and he will be talking about how we are putting together our strategy from a global perspective to help you achieve opportunities in the energy digital network. Thank you. Steve?